Hi guys, how are you today? Thank you so much for clicking onto this video. For those of you who are new, my name is Eva and this is my little anti-MLM channel. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Appreciate you guys. And yes, I have finally fixed up my sound. Took me 2 videos with a lot of echo going on until I realized that I forgot to disable the camera microphone in the sound options. So I only did it under devices, but apparently you need to do it under the sound as well. Technology is complicated. But anyway, take a look at the graph. If you've been enjoying my content for a while, or if you are new and you like my videos, please click that like and subscribe button. And today we are back to talk about another few MLM horror stories. I'm on my lunch break once again, so let's just get into the stories. Obviously, I need my glasses because I cannot see anything without them. Everything is one big blur. Okay, so today we have a few shorter stories, so let's just get into it. I come to you as a former Hun. Apologies in advance, this is going to be a long post, but I feel like I need to share. Last year, I, 26, was roped into joining an MLM. I actually run my own business. With my SO, we do gemstone manufacturing. And last year, when Rona hit, like most other businesses, we were hit hard. In our country, we could reopen our business at level 4, but our jewelers could only open at level 3. So we spent about 3 months with no income and then a further 2 months of little income because understandably people were prioritizing buying food over jewelry. Man, Rona really fucked everything up. A friend of mine reached out during our first lockdown and asked me if I was interested in getting a second income. Honestly, I was so stressed about my SO and not being able to pay the bills. I was still paying off a student loan at the time, so I thought, why not? Now, at the time, I had never heard of this company. She set up a Zoom meeting with her partner in the business and they explained how amazing it is and that they were able to make money from home and help so many people with the products they sell. Now, I like to think that I'm a relatively smart person, obviously not that smart apparently. It happens to everyone. It doesn't have to do anything with you being smart. It's just people being vulnerable. And the way they explained the business position was that I would basically be a salesperson. So I jumped at the opportunity because sales is my forte. Did I say that right? I don't know. It started with the toothpaste. I'm sure you know which company I'm referring to now. Then the other products. When I didn't make a lot of sales from the toothpaste, I had a Zoom meeting set with my upline, and she started telling me to buy the products as a way of encouraging myself to make more sales. After all, if I buy the products, I have to sell them. I started asking friends and family for help, asking them to ask their colleagues to buy from me. They were all very encouraging, but no one wanted to buy. I felt like a failure, not just to myself, but to my SO because I couldn't provide for us. Then I was encouraged to use any earnings I made to purchase the most expensive product, in order to prove to potential customers how amazing it was. Only then, I did start to realize what was happening. I tried convincing myself that it wasn't what I was starting to think it was. When our actual business finally started making decent income again, I told myself I'd just sell the products on the side. Then it started taking over my Sundays where I had to attend virtual seminars, then every Monday and Wednesday morning, until eventually I couldn't even do the work I needed to do for my own business. So I stopped selling the products. I was honest and told them I just couldn't do both jobs. They said anything and everything they could to get me to stay, but I stood my ground, and good for you. Looking back at it now, wow, I can't believe I fell for it all. The friend that roped me in doesn't even talk to me anymore. I feel so horrible for roping in the other girls I did and lying to them about wanting to work with them because they were so great, when now I don't even talk to them either. I literally just used them like I was used. Anyway, my business is way more successful now than it has ever been, so I have no regrets. Also, I love this group because it reminds me of how naive I was only a year ago, and some of these posts remind me of myself. She was a Hun for 2 months. Okay, well, good to hear that your actual business is booming now again. And it's just sad, like I said, it literally doesn't have anything to do with one's intelligence. Anyone can fall for something like that if they are very desperate, and COVID really hit everyone hard. On personal level, on the business level, I mean, it's still horrible. A lot of people and businesses are still struggling. I mean, my own company is still not my own company, the company that I work for full time, they're still kind of recovering. So it's not easy for anyone. And like I said, it doesn't have to do anything with your intelligence. It's just if you're vulnerable enough, you kind of become gullible as well, and you want to believe that this is true, this is something that's going to help you out. But unfortunately, like I always say, MLMs are not the answer, and yeah, they just drag you in even deeper and deeper. Okay, anyway, next story. I wasn't even 18. I wanted to share this story for a while now, but whenever I try to tell people, they don't really seem to get why it made me feel so weird and uncomfortable. I used to work in person retail. This took place during 2016. I worked mostly the cash register since I'm a social butterfly and good at having conversations with customers. That makes one of us because I'm so terrible at those things. Which is also why I work like behind the scenes and on the emails and technical stuff. But an older woman comes through my line, and I don't know what started it. Maybe I was just being nice, or maybe I was genuine, but I remember remarking how I liked her lipstick. Cue her pulling out about 50 packets worth of lotions, perfume samples, and shoving them at me, explaining she was an Avon rep and they're always looking for people. I was 17. I certainly did not look like an adult, so it was already weird to kind of put the pressure on a kid. I took the stuff with a smile to be nice and rung her up, and she left. Pretty sure I threw it all in the garbage after because it smelled weird. LOL. I thought that was the end of my interaction, except somehow I started getting texts from her regarding Avon sales and how to be a rep and have your own business. I couldn't figure out how she got my number, so I essentially did a reverse Google search of me to see where I screwed up. The only logical way she could have done this is to look up my name, which where I worked only had the first initial and the last name on the receipt, and my last name is not unique. Found me on Facebook by narrowing it down to the fact I had put on my profile where I worked, and she had to continuously scroll until she found one post that I made back in 2013 where I had posted a question about a fucking middle school dance and put my phone number in there. It was one of the only posts I had ever made that wasn't private because I was 14 and stupid when I made it. Oh my god, leaving your number like that on Facebook. I hope you deleted that post now. She never stopped texting me, ever. About twice a week I would get something. I never replied, but she wouldn't stop. And at 17, blocking the number of a person you lived in a small town with who had seen your face seemed scary. I finally got my number changed after getting a new phone and stopped getting texts. But I'll never get over how weird and predatory that was. My birthday is definitely on Facebook, so she had to have known I was underage. To this day, even thinking about Avon makes me feel gross. Yeah, that's a little bit strange. I mean, if someone did that to me, I would be so freaked out. I'm super paranoid anyway, so if she really went through all that effort to find you on Facebook and got your number on the post, but as well, if you didn't delete that post with your number, please delete it. I hope it's deleted by now. Never give out your personal information on the internet. It is very dangerous, and there are some weird, creepy people out there, so please don't do that. Avon, I mean, I've tried, like I said before, my cousin is a rep for Avon. She used to be, not anymore. So I tried quite a lot of Avon products when I was younger. But yeah, my cousin was very young. She was maybe like 14 when she started selling for Avon. Maybe even younger. I'm wondering, like, how is that legal? How do they get kids to sell to other kids? I think I've spoken about this in one of my previous videos about Oriflame and Avon. They both had the same, showing catalogs to people and then selling it to them, but this was like literally done by kids in like elementary school, and I was spending my parents' money to buy makeup. I mean, I'm just trying to say that Avon does have like good products, but like we always, it doesn't even matter if they have shitty or good products. It's just the fact that they're an MLM and they're super harmful. They prey on vulnerable. They're not an ethical business practice, so it doesn't matter if the products are good or bad. Yeah, I should really dig into that. It's probably a video for itself about Oriflame and Avon, maybe. Would you like to see that? You can let me know down below, where I can kind of go deep, because I do wonder, like, how did they get those kids, like 13-year-old kids, to sell catalogs? No, they weren't selling catalogs. They were showing up catalogs for us, and then we were buying and ordering stuff. So that's really weird. It's very illegal since they were like 13, 14, and I'm gonna talk to my cousin soon as well to see what the fuck the story is behind that, because I never really spoke to her about it. I don't see her that often, so I'm saving that conversation when I see her in real life where I can ask normal questions. So yeah, we'll see about that. That might be a video coming up, but I'm ranting on and my lunch break is coming to an end. So let's move on to the next one. This was something I totally forgot about. I used to be a part of Amway and Worldwide Dream Builders. I was encouraged to contact anyone anywhere and that I should get a number a day. Is that like at least one phone number a day, I think? One night I chatted with the Pete's office cashier, who was super sweet and about to graduate high school and turning 18 soon. I was 19 at the time. I'm female, by the way, which makes this less creepy. Does it though? Women can be very creepy as well. I asked her if she was looking for opportunity and she passed me her number. I called her a few days later and she asked me questions people usually did in a follow-up call, like what is it, what do I have to do, etc. I gave her the answers I was taught to give. This is not about a company, this is about potentially connecting to successful millionaires. They don't just give information to anyone, and to be honest, it took me months to fully understand what they do. Insert cringe. Yeah, that's really cringy. Very shady as well. If you're going into a job or anything, you need to know what exactly you're going into, what you're going to be doing. She awkwardly responded that she's going to college and won't have time for anything like this, and so I say, no problem, I just thought you were ambitious and would value sitting down with some successful entrepreneurs, but it sounds like that's not the case. It was nice meeting you and best of luck in college. Wow, condescending much? Know that this is the exact language we were coached to say. I'm not surprised. I personally thought I was giving people a real opportunity that would help them and thought this was the way to influence people positively, so I never had predatory intentions except to prove that I can get a contact a day, which meant I was helping the community. A week later, I got a call from the police asking about me getting contact information from a Pete's worker. I was super scared and started to shake because I really hate confrontation. They started asking me questions like, would I talk to her about who I was working with? Did I have anything to do with modeling, etc. Basically trying to figure out if this was an NXIVM type situation where women recruit other women. I wasn't aware of that at the time. So I don't know, am I the only one who never heard of them? This is literally, it says NXIVM was an American cult that engaged in forced labor and racketeering based in Clifton Park, New York. What? How did I never heard of them? What the hell? Wow, we gotta make a video on that. That's like, what? I was crying for about most of the call because, again, I hate confrontation, and I told them that I worked with network marketing with entrepreneurs and such. They were like, okay, well, the girl's mom called us concerned about your call. Thank you for your time. And that was it. I was so shaken. The girl's mom reported me as a potential and I felt terrible about it. It didn't feel like helping people. It felt like I was a bad person because my intentions could be so badly misconstructed. Anyways, that's one of the craziest things that happened to me and that I wanted to share. It was a terrible experience. However, I think you should call police on solicitors, aggressive MLMers, cult-like recruiters. I wasn't aggressive at all. The only contact I made was the phone call that I was taught to just delete their number and move on, but still awful experience. Well, to be fair, if this was going around at the time, and if your young underage daughter tells you she received a weird call while there's literally a cult that's like women and children, naturally any parent would be concerned, and I'm not surprised that they called the police on you. It doesn't matter aggressive or no. You can't really blame people for trying to protect their kids. Okay, one more left. Devil Corp experience. I found a link to information about the Devil Corp on this sub earlier, and now I finally know the answer to something that has been gnawing at me for the last 12 years. It was 2009. I was home from college for the summer and having extreme difficulty finding a seasonal job. Out of pure desperation to get out of my parents' house and earn some money for the next semester, I responded to a shady-looking Craigslist ad for marketing reps against my better judgment. Oh my god. Be careful with Craigslist, please. Weird place. I feel like it should belong like on the dark web at this point. I went through the interview process and sure enough, they sucked me in with their hip office decor and young outgoing staff. I accepted the job without having any idea what it actually entailed. And again, Never accept a job or anything without actually knowing what you're going into. As well as, for the love of God, please don't start in a workplace without signing the contract first. You're supposed to sign your contract first before your first day at work. So anything else is dodgy and weird. And I've been crossed this way more than 2 times, I think 2 or 3 times. I may have made horror stories about this, but yeah, I started working without signing my contract, and then I ended up hating it because it's usually horrible, unorganized, terrible companies that do this, workplaces. I mean, I guess it's good in one hand because at least there's no contract. So I just never came back after like my first day at work. But again, it should be a red flag if you're supposed to start and they still didn't write up a contract for you. So just be mindful of that. For my first day, they had me train with this bubbly college dropout. We met at the office and she drove me to her territory, which was about an hour away. I was so wrapped up in chatting and getting to know her on the drive over that once again the job duties never came up. Finally, she parked the car, we got out, she opened her truck and showed me boxes of framed prints. We're going to sell these, grab some. I was totally confused, but grabbed a bunch of prints and followed her into a retail store. Then to my horror, I watched her cheerfully try and fail to sell prints to every single person in the store. I could feel my face turning red with embarrassment, but she wasn't fazed by any of it. We walked out and I followed her inside the business right next door where the exact same thing happened. We did this for full 8 hours. She even barged through a nursing home. I wanted to run, but I was in an unfamiliar area and my car was not accessible, so I had to stick it out. After 8 hours, we had sold an impressive grand total of 2 prints. One to a poor schlub who worked at a Subway and one to an office receptionist where we were kicked out of the building immediately following the sale. I believe her commission totaled $40. I didn't give a dime and didn't care. I just wanted to get the fuck home. I played it cool on the drive back. I pretended like I had a great day and couldn't wait to go out on my own. This was a survival tactic so she wouldn't drop me in the middle of the woods, or worse, because there were the types of vibes I'd been getting, but I never went back or returned any of their calls after that day. And again, this just confirms, please make sure you know which job you're actually going to. Please make sure to have like a proper contract beforehand. It happens, shit happens, we make mistakes, okay, but just please be careful out there. So yeah, I think we've learned a few good lessons today, and I'm gonna have to wrap that up here. Again, my lunch break is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. As always, thank you to all my Instagram friends for your continuous support, and everyone else who's not coming from my Instagram but is supporting me on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. If you're not coming from my social media, also feel free to check me out. My Instagram link is gonna be down below in the description box. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.